The tertiary server is a tomcat responsible for hosting the user's .war, that is his web application with his endpoints. When a cluster is created in ClusterJ, a set of nodes are created along with the cluster. Each of these nodes is a Tomcat installed in a dedicated Linux account and running in its own Java virtual machine. The node management is done individually, one by one, by the user. So after the cluster is created, the user must then install the node. After, it must start and shut down to test the node. After everything is working fine, the user must upload his .war to each one of the nodes in the cluster. He does that by accessing the node directly through the node management API. After each one of the nodes receives the same copy of the .war, the user must then use the primary server, must use ClusterJ to set up the cluster. When the user asks ClusterJ cluster management API in the primary server, the primary server goes to the setup database, gathers all the information, asks each one of the machines their situation, and uses singleton to keep in-memory data about the cluster. And then, after all this setup is done, the user can then perform a request to the cluster, to his cluster. When that request is made, the client makes the request, goes to the primary server. The primary server searches in memory the node more suitable to execute a request and passes the request for that node. The node executes the request, gathers all the data for the response, and gets it back to the primary server. The primary server then builds a package and gets it back to the client, who will be able to use the response. And that's it in general terms on the tertiary server, the node server. Thank you very much for your attention. Please subscribe to the channel, like our videos, and watch as many as you can so we can start to monetize and gather resources to hire developers, buy more infrastructure, and also pay for marketing efforts. Thank you very much for your attention.